So, Ambassador McFaul, let's talk about the fact also that the First Lady is planning a trip to the region this week. Now, First Lady travels, you generally are viewed, less critically in terms of, the importance substantively, but this is Dr. Jill Biden, and she chooses her moments very, very carefully. She's an educator as well as a mom, and she's going on Mother's Day to meet with refugees. I think this is going to be a very big deal.
I think it's fantastic. I think it's fantastic that Ukraine and the neighboring countries are getting this kind of attention. I want to add one footnote to your conversation about Speaker Pelosi. I saw Speaker Pelosi just 2 weeks ago to talk about not just weapons, but sanctions. And I am sure that they also talked about new sanctions. I would watch for new legislation, new kinds of ideas coming out of the Congress about sanctions as well. I know that that's why the President Zelensky wanted to talk about that. And they want to continue to put pressure on the Biden administration and the rest of the world for new sanctions. And Joe Biden going to the region, as you said, everybody now wants to be part of this moment because there's now momentum on the side of the Ukrainians. And I think that's a positive sign for them and a positive sign for us.
And Ambassador, also, your insights on these stunning comments by Russia's Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. Let me read them in part. He said on an Italian talk show, the Nazification of Ukraine exists. Azov soldiers have swastikas and Nazi symbols on their uniforms and tattooed on their body. They openly read the Mein Kampf. They say there can't be a denazification because we are Jews. Well, I believe Hitler had Jewish heritage. The wise Jewish people say that the worst anti-Semites are Jews. Well, Israel's prime minister is responding this morning. And we should note that Israel has not taken a position, was trying to preserve its neutrality, has very close military coordination with Russia over Syrian territory, the Golan Heights, which has been important to them, has tried to be a mediator in all of this. But now today, the foreign minister saying, I view with utmost severity the Russian foreign minister's statement. His words are untrue. Their intentions are wrong. The goal of such lies is to accuse the Jews themselves of the most awful crimes in history which were perpetrated against them and thereby absolve Israel's enemies of responsibility. As I have already said the Israeli foreign minister, no war in our time is like the Holocaust or is comparable to the Holocaust. The use of the Holocaust of the Jewish people as a political tool must cease immediately. And, Ambassador, they called in the Russian ambassador in Jerusalem, to protest this.
Yeah, they should send him home. I think just outrageous what Mr. Lavrov said. I used to work with him. He's a very cynical guy. He says what the bosses tell him to do. But I think we have to stop treating people like him as legitimate figures in diplomacy. You cannot say that kind of utter nonsense and then sit down and have a normal meeting with Secretary Blinken or anybody else. So I think that we have to rethink how we engage with people like Mr. Lavrov, including sending his ambassadors back out of our countries. We don't want to deal with people that speak that way.